Hello! You made it! You're here! You are here for first cooking lesson. We're going back to basics. Listen, we're all sheltered in, sheltered where we are or whatever. Hunkered down, squirreled in, I don't know, whatever it is that we're supposed to be doing. We're not supposed to be leaving our house. That means it's time to start cooking at home, right? And the first thing that I'm going to teach you how to do is how to make a roast chicken. This is one of the first things my mother taught me, and basically a roast chicken is really super easy, super simple, and you're going to love the results that you get from this, and you're going to dazzle the family, okay? So what you need to start with is guess what this is? Yes, it's a whole chicken. You're going to start with a whole chicken. And while you can just throw it into the oven, if you do a couple of these little special things, it will make your chicken look like you just, walked off of the Food Network set. How's that? Okay, I've got a few things here. And first of all, I'd like to bring a glass of wine to my cooking party, even though it's 4 o'clock Eastern. It's 5 o'clock somewhere, and I just broke my very favorite lamp, which is sad. So anyway, let's say, sorry, lamp. Cheers. Okay, so first of all, let's just start with our chicken. What I have done here, and I told you, you are going to need to write all of this down. Every single thing that I'm telling you, I don't have a recipe for. What I'm doing is showing you, I want you to learn how to intuitively cook and just be able to throw this together. This is not brain surgery. You don't need exact measurements. I'm going to give you approximate everythings, okay? The only rule of thumb that you need is that you need a nice hot oven. We're doing a dry roast, which means that this roast is exposed, that we're not putting foil over the top, we're not putting a lid over the top. This is what it's going to be about. 425 for 20 minutes a pound, okay? Write that down. Preheat your oven to 425 for 20 minutes a pound, and that's all you need to know. That's your take it to the bank stuff. The second part is you need to season the cavity and you need to grease up the top a little bit. Super easy, and I'm going to show you exactly what to do. Okay, so first things first, I have here some herbs. These are fresh herbs, and this is sage, thyme, and rosemary. It's called the poultry blend. You can find it mostly in any grocery store. And I'm going to say, if you can't get fresh herbs, or fresh herbs are out of your budget or whatever, no need to panic. You can just use you can use some dried herbs. And if you're using dried herbs, you're going to be using about a half a teaspoon of sage, a half a teaspoon of thyme, and a half a teaspoon of rosemary, just for fun. Just thereabouts, okay? And this is going to be going in the cavity. Also, I have created this little mess. This is about a good teaspoon and a half of pink Himalayan sea salt and fresh ground pepper. And I put it all together in here because I'm going to be inserting it with this spoon into the cavity. And I don't need any cross-contamination happening. So you don't do that from your regular salt thing. You want to keep it really, really clean. And then the last thing is I have about 8 garlic cloves here. You can use less, you can use onion, you can use garlic powder if you want. But again, this is all going to be going into the cavity, and it helps the cavity to create a really wonderful, when the sauce all comes out, it's just absolutely amazing. And you can just take the grease off the top, add a little bit of wine, and just stir it up with a wire whisk, and you have a wonderful sauce to put over the chicken without having to make gravy. But you will get a lot of juice out of it, and just accept the juice, love the juice, don't ever throw it out. Even if you don't want it on your chicken, save it and use it for your bone broth later on. Okay, there's a hint for you. And I have butter as well, and I have some melted butter as well, and about 2 tablespoons of melted butter, and a little pastry brush, which I'm going to show you what to do with in a moment. And first things first, we are going to start with the cavity. And what we're going to do is start with the salt and pepper, okay? And I just go in there, and you can see cross-contamination, but this is it. And I'm just shaking this salt and pepper all through the cavity. And it makes a big difference, you guys. You know, it makes a huge difference. Secondly, I'm going to take about a tablespoon of butter, and I'm going to put that in the cavity. And then I'm going to add all this garlic into the cavity. Give it a shove. Okay. Now, preparing your chicken. Once upon a time, you used to take the chicken and rinse it off and pat it dry in the sink. They have changed the recommendations. Now you just take it out of the package, make sure you drain it really well, and pat the chicken dry with paper towel. You don't have to go through this whole rinsing thing. The thought is that you're contaminating your whole kitchen sink and everything else around you and the water splashing. So just blot and dry your chicken before you go with it. The next thing I'm going to do is take all these fresh herbs and stick them in the cavity. And now the cavity is done. Now my melted butter, like I said, about a tablespoon, goes on the top. You can use ghee if you want. I just find butter to be much more flavorful, if you will, than using an oil. An oil greases it up as well, and you can get fancy if you want. You can go under the skin and put slices of butter and herbs and what have you. You can put a lemon in the cavity. You can do all kinds of things. This is chicken, not brain surgery. And now that my chicken's nice and buttery and tan, getting ready for the tanning booth, all the way down. Nothing goes to waste. And that little last little bit can go right here into the cavity. And then on top of that, if you want to, you can put a little salt and pepper. If you want to, you can. If you have any, I have a little bit of salt and pepper left here, so I'll just put that on there. You can tuck the wings. You don't have to truss a chicken. I'm not a big believer in trussing, but trussing is when you get the kitchen twine and then you just make her act a little bit more like a lady and cross her legs, like so. You know how your mom used to say that? You can tuck the wings underneath. Sometimes they're just not willing to tuck. This is an untucker. Sometimes the wings will allow you to tuck, and you can just tuck them right under the thigh. But see, this one's just a non-cooperating chicken. And I'm done. You see that? It took me like 10 minutes. Now, tonight, what you do then is you make your roasted chicken. You get, when it comes out of the oven, and if you're going to use a meat thermometer, the thigh meat will be about 165 degrees. But you can see the juices will come clear and all of that. It's going to be very obvious that your chicken is roasted and ready. And I gave you the temperatures and I gave you the time. Let it sit for 15 minutes, okay? Let it sit for 15 minutes so that you're not digging right into it and the juices are just going everywhere. The juices need to settle. Serve it with some kind of a green vegetable, and I'm going to talk to you about how to make good frozen vegetables, because frozen vegetables, people are always going like, taste terrible. Well, you can roast them and they taste a whole lot different. And we'll talk about that. That'll be another cooking lesson. And then you slice it up and you serve it with a nice green vegetable, some mashed potatoes maybe, whatever your family likes. And then you eat what you can and save what's left. The leftover chicken, the next day, day 2 of rubber chicken, becomes maybe a burrito. You could take some black beans and some chicken and make a chicken burrito. You can use it in chicken salad. You can do all kinds of things. Chicken sandwiches, whatever you have left over. And if you have a larger family, well, of course you're going to have left over. Maybe make 2 chickens so you have that leftover. And then at the end, you're going to be left with skeletal remains. And that is the beginning for you. And you'll be able to get that. Recipe as well. And there's also a bone broth recipe in here. Is Facebook Live if you want to take a look at that. We've had over 500,000 views on it. So that's it. That is how you make roast chicken.
Temperature again. Say it
the
again.
temperature again is 425 for 20 minutes a pound. And you just, it's and the thing is, this is the problem that some of us have, is that your temperature gauge on your oven might not be accurate. So just still watch your chicken. If you don't feel really confident in your oven's temperature, then that's going to be an issue. The other thing you want to take a look at is, what's so funny?
I'm not sure if she's joking. She said she thought she heard you say, trust the chicken because it's untrustworthy.
It is a trustworthy chicken. I'm trussing, T-R-U-S-S. In other words, tying up the chicken's legs. I just don't do any of that stuff. I mean, I just want to get down to basics. I don't care if it doesn't look, you know, like it's ready for the cover of Gourmet magazine. I'm okay with it. I just want to cook the chicken. The other thing to take into consideration is that when you're cooking your chicken is the time out of the oven, okay? Time out of the oven, 15 minutes, so that the juices have a chance to settle. Question?
You don't cover it and get it for browning, whatever?
No. We're doing a high temperature cooking, and what you're going to notice with this is it makes the skin golden brown and crisps it up. This is what roasting does. When you put the top on it, you're essentially poaching it, or you're doing a wet roast, and you're just not going to get nearly the flavor out of it. When people put whole chickens into Instant Pots or crock pots, it kind of makes me sad. It makes me cry inside a little bit, because you're missing out on doing all of this, and you get more mile for your buck when you roast your chicken first, eat the chicken, have the leftovers, and then take the carcass and turn it into soup. You get so much more mileage out of it. And in these times, being able to have a whole roast chicken, have dinner again the next day or lunch, and then make soup out of it, that's a rubber chicken. And it's a really good way to go. And I'm going to tell you this too. In the stores, you're going to see a lot of whole chickens. People don't know what to do with them, but you do. So buy some whole chickens and roast them yourself. Any other questions? Nope. All right, you got it. And oh, don't forget too, we also have on sale, savingdinner.com frugal/frugal. We have all the frugal ebooks on sale. Go take a look at that, and that's going to show you how to create a menu plan for the week, how to shop frugally and good on your grocery budget, and it'll stretch your buck. You know, we all need to stretch our dollars right now. So it's for $15. You'll get all, you know, just tons and tons and tons of recipes, and it'll show you exactly what to do. And if you have questions, you can always come on here and pop them in, and I'll answer them. There you go. See you later.